Hey, welcome back. So, I did what I was supposed to. I just have to leave. Okay, body image. Let's do it. Um, they did, one of the Zooms for the Patreon for the besties was, they talked about body image for like an hour and I didn't say anything. And I think it was interesting because I think the reason why is because I had never really talked about it here. So I didn't feel comfortable sharing my opinion for the first time to somebody else. Because, like, too risky. Like, I don't know what I'm going to say. I never said it before. So I feel like that's kind of bad, but also like, well, I don't know. Well, at least I know that that's what's happening. I kind of don't mind it, because, like, I can still do this every week, so if they talk about body image next time, what can I talk about? Obviously, they're all women, so it's different for me a little bit, but, like, that's interesting that it's different. I think I never really thought about body image stuff until, like, high school. And that's probably different for girls. Like, they probably, when they're like 3-year-olds, they're like, you're not thin enough. But that's not something I ever, maybe I wasn't overweight as a kid, so maybe if you're like 10-year-old boy and you are overweight, it might be hard. I didn't have to, but I was small, and that's another whole thing. When I was a kid, I was really small. I was the smallest kid in the class until like middle school, probably. Yeah, I remember when I think it was first grade, they made us line up by height or something, and I was either the smallest or the second. I remember this other kid, Patrick, was like, I have this memory of standing in the line and Patrick was next to me, but I can't remember if he was smaller or if I was smaller. I don't know. So that's one thing. Like, I am. And then once I got to high school, obviously I was kind of self-conscious about. I remember being self-conscious about a lot of things. One thing was being pale. I was like, I need to get out in the sun. Like, I remember being really self-conscious about my arms being like really pale, and my face being pale. When I was in high school, I didn't have pimples too bad, but whenever I got one, I was like, don't look at me. So that's another thing. When I was in high school, I had that thing, I know I've mentioned that before, where I walked past a mirror and I saw like how slouchy I was, and I was like, oh god, who's that? It's so gross. I hated that. And I was always self-conscious about like trying to stand up straight. Always just like all these body image stuff, always in the back of your head, like, oh my hair, oh god, my hair. Don't even get me started on my hair. Oh, that was the worst thing. I was so bad with my hair. I was constantly thinking about my hair. And I think, like, I didn't have OCD, but if you looked at me and you're like, the most OCD thing about me was like how I obsessed about my hair, and I was like always touching it. I hated that. I hated that I did that. I hate that I did that. I remember I was a senior in high school, and I have two memories about obsessing about my hair. One is when I played soccer. I remember I would always look at my shadow and be like, even though you can't really tell much from the shadow, but I would look at the shadow and be like, to see my hair. I'd be like, is it weird? Like, I know I can't really tell, but like I have nothing else to like, I don't have a mirror. And I was also, this is gonna be a weird episode. I would also, I was also really self-conscious about people noticing me looking at my reflection and being like, oh, he's so vain, he keeps looking at his reflection. I have another one. Did anybody else ever do this? I would look at my calculator. Like, because those are the only mirrors I had in school. And if you pull out a mirror, like if a dude pulls out a mirror, that's so weird. Like a guy is looking at his hair. That's a girl can get away with it a little bit, but like, why are you looking at your hair? I don't know. So like I would look at things that weren't mirrors to try to like. I'm sure it was obvious what I was doing. Like that's even weirder if you're looking at your reflection in a calculator. But I would do that. I had a calculator where like I remember the solar panel thing was kind of reflective, and if you just kind of like held it, you could see. And so like I would do that, and then I'd put the calculator down, and I'd remember what it looked like, and then I'd be like, and then I just kind of play with it. I hate that. I remember that, and there was a mirror in the bathroom. And it's my senior year of high school that I would always, like I would remember I would go into that bathroom right after one class, and I'd just kind of stand in the stall and wait for people to leave because I didn't want them to see me looking at my hair. And when there was nobody there, then I would go look. What I do now is I have hairspray, which I should have used hairspray before, but it's like the thing was always like my hair's moving around. I don't know where it is. But I do use hairspray now. I use this thing called Consort or something. Why are they all tagging me? And it helps a little. I still have no idea how to do with my hair, and now I have like thinner hair, so it's hard. Like you gotta hide those thin spots. Like I think you could probably see, maybe right. Definitely like the crown area is thin. Like probably around here or around here you could see something. But yeah, I didn't really expect to talk about it that much, but I can make a whole video about it. And then when I was in college, I started getting acne really bad. And I was really self-conscious about that. Because that was kind of like a new thing, which is weird. It's like if all of a sudden you, like in college, you just had like a big mark on your face or like a big scar or something, like out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, that's not me. That's not what I look like. And you have to take time to get used to it. I know I'm used to it. Like I've had these pimples forever. Like I'm kind of used to them. Still self-conscious about them, but I've gotten better the past couple of years where I'm just like, I'm just gonna have pimples forever and it's fine. Actually, the pimples kind of make me look younger now too. So I'm like, a 30-year-old can't have pimples. So the older I get, the more the pimples are like, what makes me kind of like look younger. Okay, what do I do in here? Do I go down there? No. Where did I come from? I feel like I came from here. It's pointing me in here though. That can't be right. I think I'm supposed to go. I think the arrows are lying to me. So yeah, the one thing about the pimples I remember, if I would have a really bad pimple on one side of my face, when I walked into class, I would, usually there would be 2 doors to get into the classroom, and I would walk into the side of the door with, like, if I had a pimple on this side, I would walk into the one side where you couldn't see, and then I would sit on the classroom side. I would always sit on the end of the row. And I would face the way that like you can see the pimple. And that is why I got B's and C's in my classes instead of A's, because 90% of my brain power was used to think about the stupid stuff that doesn't matter. When I was in class, I was not paying attention to the teacher. I was thinking like, can somebody see my pimple? What about my hair? Is my hair weird? It's weird. Everybody's looking at my hair. It's weird. Nobody cares about your hair. Calm down. So stupid. Just go. Just go. Just go. I think I'm supposed to go this way. Why are the arrows pointing the other way? You're supposed to go this way. I've never been here. This is so, I don't know. The arrows, why are they wrong? That's annoying. That's why I was confused before, yesterday. It's like the arrows aren't pointing this way. Okay. Okay. I want that, I want that, I want that. Ah, here they come, here they come, here they come. Ah. I had one more note that I wanted to say real quick. What was it? What was it? It was something about... I went to the Game Grumps show yesterday. That wasn't the note, but it's interesting to note. Like, this is my journal, and maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. It was interesting. Game Grumps did a live show in Albany, and I went. It's interesting, but that wasn't the note I wanted to talk about. Real quick, what was it? What was it? Wuthering Heights. Oh God. Ooh. I finished Wuthering Heights. I liked it a lot. I should probably spend more time talking about it than just like 2 minutes at the end. But whatever. I guess I didn't really have that much to say. I could just sum up. I think I already talked about what I liked about it. And the ending is just like, it's kind of a short book. But like there's a first part where, and I like the framing device of Nellie telling the story. Nellie's like the housekeeper. And she tells the story of Heathcliff and Wuthering Heights and Thrush Crush Grange or whatever. So you have the first part of the book, which is about Heathcliff, and Catherine and Hindley and Edgar. And their interactions, and then they have kids, and then the second part of the book is kind of about Heathcliff interacting with the kids, and the book is about Heathcliff for most of it, but then at the end it kind of turns into being about Kathy, who's Catherine's daughter, and I feel like the moral of the story is kind of happy, where it's like the past can be overcome. Like time heals even the worst hate or something. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. The idea, I feel like I've mentioned before, I don't know what I mean, but like the idea of hate coming from love, like hate is like love that you leave out and it gets spoiled, and that's what hate is, because Heathcliff's hate comes from his love for Catherine. If he didn't love Catherine, he wouldn't be the most hateful, terrible person ever. And he like abuses his kids and he tortures them. Um, but that came from love that turned. And that's an interesting idea that's like what the whole book is about, kind of like Heathcliff developing into this monster who just hates everything that reminds him of Catherine because he loved her, and she dies. Um, and the book ends with Heathcliff dying and Catherine and Hinton um, getting married, I think, and the pall of Heathcliff's terror is kind of lifted, and it's like you can move on. It can be okay, uh, and that's it. That's the book. I liked it. It's a very good book. You guys ever hear about this book called Wuthering Heights? I just found it. Little hidden gem. You might not have heard of it, but it's pretty good. Alright. See you tomorrow.